welcome to another video all. In today's video, we're going to be discussing programming the TX to any of the Flywing proprietary flight controllers that are used in their models. I'm not talking about the H2 or anything like that. I'm just talking about these proprietary ones. And I'm going to be going over the basics for programming in any TX, whether it's the original FlySky or an aftermarket one like one of these that you might use. But ultimately, the programming is exactly the same. We're getting people getting confused because obviously there's two versions of each of these. This is the older flight controller from Flywing, which was the H1. This is the H1 scale, and you had the H1 Lite. Just with the newer version, you have the H-Ace scale and you have the H-Ace FW450. And they all do different things. Like, for example, Switch D, that can do anything from inverted flight, coordinated turns, return to home. This one has different positions, whether it's GPS acro or in a different way around. And this can have different functions too. Predominantly, this is always the same. But so people get confused with the programming. And like I say, when they're asking for videos, they're saying there's no videos out there for setting the ACE scale up, for example. It really doesn't matter what YouTube video to watch. When you program any of these to any of these, predominantly everything stays the same. There is no difference in the programming. The only difference is what channel 9, for instance, tells this to do to what channel 9 tells this to do are two completely different things. But ultimately, the programming is always exactly the same. So this is just a step in the basic setup for a Flywing system.
All right, here we have the stock TX. If we look at the switches, the toggle switches, we're always from left to right, A, B, C, or D. No matter what flight controller you're using for any Flywing proprietary flight controller, you've always got channels 7, 8, 5, and 9. Channel 7 is always assigned to switch A. Channel 8 is always assigned to switch B. Channel 5 is always assigned to switch C. And channel 9 is always assigned to switch D.
Right, so as we were saying, as you can see, these channels are always assigned to those switches. Now, if we go on to this image here, as you can see, you pause the video, whatever you want, take a screenshot. No matter what functions they have, as you can see, the H1 Lite has all these functions on those switches and the scale. Pretty identical apart from that. And then it changes when we get to here, let the channel 9 return to home. They just do different things. But predominantly what always stays the same, and this is what you need to remember, is this. Channel 7 is always assigned to A. Channel 8 is always assigned to B, and so and so and so and so. And also when it comes to channel 5, where they have different functions, if you have a look, there's a return to home here for the scale. There's a GPS there, and there's a return to home there. They're all different, but predominantly the switch, you always have 2000 at the top, 1500 in the middle, and 1000 at the bottom. And it's just that on this flight controller, it will do that. That's the same. On this flight controller, it will do that, GPS ATI acro. And on the scale, it will do return to home, GPS and ATI. So they all do different things on channel 5, but predominantly the switches are always programmed to that. And these switches are always assigned to those channels. If you stick to these golden rules, you'll never have a problem programming in any TX for a Flywing helicopter, no matter what controller you've got. I'll just about leave it there, but please just remember, you're always going to be programming in channels 7, channels 8, channels 5, and channel 9. And you're always going to have this switch at 2000, 1500, and 1000. If you stick to that basic, it will work on every flight controller from Flywing. Hopefully you found that useful information. Hopefully that explains it a little bit easier and makes it in simpler terms. But if you like it, don't forget the thumbs up. Give us a sub. Plenty more Flywing information to come along your way. I've got a couple of reviews to do. I've got an FPV install going in the EC135 and some detailing work on the fuselages. So if that floats your boat, give us a sub. Speak to you soon. Have a good day and happy flying.